It's 27 minutes past 8. I beg your pardon? Yes, it is 8. Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Well, let's flip over to Abuja, where we've got Mr. Dan Wanyang, who is the national chairman of the Labour Party. He's also a delegate at the ongoing national conference. Morning, and thank you for joining us. Well, at the moment, we're talking about the position of youths in this country and how they are not well represented, to say the least. At least Nuhu had told us that one this morning. What do you think about representation of young people at this national conference at the moment?
Well,
can you hear us, Dan?
Good morning, good morning, Chamberlain.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Mabwe. I think the youth have a very prominent role to play in national development. And I think for the first time, the youths have been involved in discussing about the tomorrow of Nigeria. There was this clamor at the conference that the youth ought to have been represented more in the conference. But I know that there are too many young people who are participating in the conference. I'm also aware that they have made very useful contributions because actually this country, the tomorrow of this country is theirs. But we have to start from somewhere. The argument has been fought on that they ought to have chosen up to 60%, 70%, or even all. But we must also understand, and I have told some of them who are my friends, that we don't need to kill our old people simply because we want them to get off the stage to enable us to take over. We need experience. We need the history of yesterday. We need what happened before. Where are we? So that we'll be able to discuss about tomorrow. I recall a member from Akwa Ibom, when he was discussing this issue on floor of the House, he made that point that the reason why we have the old people around us is to avoid the younger ones eating vulture, misplacing it to be chicken. And I think it's very apt. And there's also a proverb to that effect in different places. I know that the young people, maybe we don't have enough, but those that are in the conference have actually represented the young people very well. What is important to me is the input and the contributions they have made in the conference and how bold, intelligent, and firm they have been. It doesn't matter, actually, if we have half of the conference as young people. So I think the conference has taken off. There's room for improvement. There are many more discussions coming in future. But we must acknowledge the fact that this conference is the very first time the young people have been given adequate recognition and consideration.
All right, let me come to Nuhu Atai again. I mean, we certainly, I'm not sure if I heard that part. Is there any plan to kick the young people completely out of the scheme of things? I beg your pardon, old people out of the scheme of things, as Dan may suggest, because he may have inadvertently picked that up maybe from young people. Have you thought about that, or how do you plan to integrate them in the scheme of things?
No, we cannot be able to kick the old people out of the system. Experience, just as he said, plays a very critical role. But our issue is this, that because it's a knowledge economy, age does not really matter in political appointments. Age does not really matter when it has to do with opinions of people. Because one of the challenges that they are facing in the conference, the youths are facing in the conference, is that they are not adequately represented in committees that has to do with deciding majorly the future of Nigeria. The committees of devolution of power, the committees of political parties, the committees of public services, the committee of trying to decide. And those committees that I just listed to you are committees that actually are responsible for deciding the destiny of this country. There are people, there are policies that have to be made in that committee that has to do with appointment into positions, and no youth is represented in those committees. So that is the basic problem we're talking about. We are saying that, yes, I appreciate him for saying, yes, we have the opportunity to listen. I appreciate him, but we are not advocating that we want to take over. No, what we are saying, there should be a mix, a proper mix. If you look at the First Republic, the people that fought the independence of this country after the death of Macaulay, most of them were less than 30, or most of them were less than 35 years old. The first coup was done by Kaduna Ezegu. He was 29 years. The counter coup, which Babangida was involved and others, none of them were up to 30 years. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So Metama Sule was also incorporated by the Southerners of then into politics. So what we are saying is that there should be a perfect mix, because we need the energies of the young. We need their current state of intelligence. We need their current state of information. A lot of things have gone by. So we need an opportunity that we will contribute properly to the development of this country.
I want to come to you later on participation in the political space, but I think this question is for Dan. How would you also rate, because you are the chairman of a political party, the Labour Party, how would you rate the participation of youth in your own party? Would you say that there is a special platform for them? Do you encourage them? Or what do you do? Are there certain provisions that you leave for young people and saying this is our way of encouraging young people?
Yeah, before I come to your question, Maokwe, let me also say without contradiction that the use of what happened during the military, like the coup of Nzogu and others, which are considered to be an aberration, cannot be the yardstick to determine the effectiveness or the acceptability of the youth in nation building. That was something done due to youthful exuberance. So we should not refer to the events in the military. And I want to also say that young people are very, very relevant in our nation building today, as it is in the conference. I know very well that in most political parties, they have the youth wing. And when you have a growing political party, most of the conferences and seminars, we try as much as possible to encourage the younger people, just as we do for women. We take the issue of the youth and the women side by side, because they are the leaders of tomorrow. We try as much as possible within the limited resources of the political party, as in the case with some other political parties, to carry young people along. If you go through our records in our states, most of our leaders in the states holding positions of chairmen, secretaries, are between the ages of 30 and 40. I can tell you emphatically that over 70% of our leadership in the state structure of the Labour Party are all young people. And that was deliberate. Deliberate in the sense that as we step aside, we will have young people who will be ready to take up leadership at the center. And that's why you have to encourage them. We have also done the same thing for women. While we are clamoring for 35% for women, Labour Party is almost at 50%. Because in our party, for example, one of my deputy national chairmen is a woman. The treasurer of the party is a woman. The financial secretary of the party is a woman. We have 2-3 other women in the ESCO. The person in charge of the accounts of the party is a woman. So we try as much as possible to encourage women, because I think they can be more trusted in politics without maligning the men. Of course, I'm a man. They can be more relied upon when it comes to issue of politics.
Why
So
don't
we
you
try as
have
much as possible
a
to carry
female
youth
national
and
leader
women
of
side
the
by
Labour
side,
Party
and
in
we are doing
that
our
case?
best.
Are we going to have that in the next election for the executive position for your party?
Well, our convention is coming this year, when new leadership will emerge completely and new mandates will be given. We intend to carry more women than we have now. We have very experienced women, very upright women, And I think as some of us step out of the leadership of the party, more women will come on board. And I think that is very critical and is very, very important. And we also look at youths. You cannot do without the young people. The young people must understudy the older ones and those who have experience. Because it's the experience of the older ones that is transferred to the younger people, so that they will not eat vulture and call it chicken. That's why the old people must always be around to advise the younger people.